Here is something most doctors will never say out loud in their office. Your legs are not getting weaker just because you're getting older. Your legs are getting weaker because nobody told you what to feed them. And there is a massive difference between those two things. One is a sentence, the other is a solution. I'm Dr. Markus Dexter, and today I'm giving you that solution. 6 specific foods, ranked from powerful to absolutely transformational, that can rebuild your leg strength, restore your muscle tissue, and give you back the stability and confidence you thought were gone forever. Before we begin, let me share a number that stopped me cold when I first read it. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society found that adults over 65 with significant lower body muscle weakness had a 72% higher risk of mobility disability within 5 years, along with alarming increases in fall-related hospitalizations, nursing home admissions, and early mortality. 72%. That is nearly 3 out of 4 people who could have intervened earlier, but didn't, because no one told them what we now know about nutrition, muscle biology, and the aging body. The number 1 food on this list is something you probably have in your kitchen right now, something you may have been told to avoid, and something that researchers at Harvard Medical School now believe is one of the most powerful muscle protective compounds available to humans over 60. I'm saving that one for last, because once you hear it, you will never look at your grocery list the same way again. Before we dive in, drop a comment below. Tell me how old you are and whether you've noticed your legs feeling weaker, heavier, or less stable than they used to be. Maybe the stairs feel harder. Maybe getting up from a chair takes more effort. I read every single comment, and your story might be the reason someone else finds this video and changes their life. Let's begin. Counting down from 6 to 1, from powerful to life-changing. Number 6. And this one surprises almost everyone I tell it to. Eggs. I know. You've heard the debate your entire life. They raise your cholesterol. They're bad for your heart. Put them down, walk away. I'm here to tell you, with the full weight of current nutritional science behind me, that this advice, especially for adults over 60, was one of the most damaging pieces of health guidance ever widely circulated. Here's what eggs actually do for your aging legs. Eggs are one of the most complete sources of leucine on the planet. Leucine is the amino acid that acts like the key that starts the engine of muscle protein synthesis, the biological process by which your body actually builds and repairs muscle tissue. After 65, your body develops what researchers call anabolic resistance. Your muscles become stubborn. They no longer respond as efficiently to protein signals. They need a stronger trigger to fire. Leucine is that trigger. 2 large whole eggs deliver approximately 1.08 grams of leucine, which research from the University of Illinois found was sufficient to meaningfully stimulate muscle protein synthesis even in older adults with significant anabolic resistance. But here's what makes eggs truly special. The yolk, the part everyone told you to throw away, contains choline, vitamin D, and a compound called phosphatidylcholine that maintains the integrity of your muscle cell membranes. As we age, those membranes become more fragile, less capable of holding the nutrients muscles need to contract and recover. Throwing away the yolk is like buying a car and leaving the engine at the dealership. I had a patient, Margaret, 74, from Sarasota, Florida. She came to me after her second fall in 6 months, terrified of her own staircase. She'd been on a low-fat diet for over a decade, avoiding eggs completely on the advice of an older physician. We added 3 whole eggs to her morning routine. Within 8 weeks, she told me she walked up her stairs without holding the railing for the first time in 2 years. That is not a coincidence. That is leucine, choline, and vitamin D doing exactly what the science says they should. For best results, 2 to 3 whole eggs in the morning, cooked gently with a small amount of healthy fat. The fat improves absorption of the fat-soluble vitamins in the yolk. Low heat, gentle cooking. Don't rush them. Number 5. Wild-caught salmon. If your legs feel heavy, if they cramp at night, if they ache when you wake up in the morning, there is a very good chance that chronic inflammation is quietly destroying your muscle tissue while you sleep. Wild-caught salmon is one of nature's most potent anti-inflammatory weapons ever discovered. The active compounds are EPA and DHA, omega-3 fatty acids. Think of inflammation in your muscle tissue like a slow-burning forest fire. It starts small, burns at a low level, and over years it chars everything around it, the muscle fibers, the connective tissue, the nerve pathways sending signals from your brain to your legs. EPA and DHA are the water-bombing aircraft. They don't just soothe the fire, they chemically neutralize the inflammatory compounds your body produces in increasing amounts after 60. A study from the University of Aberdeen followed 87 adults over 65 for 18 weeks. The group consuming omega-3s equivalent to 3 servings of wild salmon per week experienced a 22% increase in muscle protein synthesis rate compared to the control group. 22%. That is not a supplement. That is a fish. Salmon also delivers something else aging legs desperately need: vitamin D3, the active form that your skin can no longer produce efficiently after 70. Research in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology found that vitamin D deficiency, affecting an estimated 77% of adults over 65, is directly linked to muscle weakness, impaired balance, and elevated sarcopenia risk. One 6-ounce serving of wild-caught sockeye salmon delivers up to 988 IU of vitamin D3. The recommended daily minimum for adults over 70 is 800 IU. You get it in a single meal. Aim for 2 to 3 servings per week. Wild-caught only, farmed salmon has a dramatically different omega-3 to omega-6 ratio and does not deliver the same anti-inflammatory benefit. Pair it with dark leafy greens, which brings us directly to number 4. Number 4, spinach and dark leafy greens. Think about every older person you've seen who still moved with real grace, who got up from a chair without pushing off the armrests, who walked without shuffling. I would bet a significant amount that dark leafy greens were a regular part of their diet. Here's the biology. After 75, your body loses approximately 35% of its ability to recycle nitric oxide, a molecule that acts like a traffic controller for blood flow in your legs. When nitric oxide levels fall, the tiny blood vessels feeding your quadriceps, hamstrings, and calves begin to congest. Nutrients can't get in, waste products can't get out. The result is muscles that fatigue faster, recover slower, and shrink year by year. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and arugula are loaded with dietary nitrates, which your body converts back into nitric oxide through bacteria in your saliva. You are essentially using food to bypass what aging has taken away. A study from the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that nitrate supplementation at doses equivalent to about 200 grams of spinach improved skeletal muscle efficiency in older adults by 19%. The muscle didn't grow bigger, it simply became more efficient at using the oxygen and nutrients already arriving, like upgrading the fuel injection system in an older engine. Spinach is also extraordinarily rich in magnesium, a mineral that 68% of Americans over 60 are chronically deficient in. Magnesium is required for over 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, including the one most critical to your legs: muscle relaxation. When your legs cramp at night, when your calves seize up, that is almost always a magnesium signal. 1 cup of cooked spinach delivers 157 milligrams of magnesium, roughly 37% of your daily requirement in a single serving. Always cook your greens in a quality fat like olive oil. It dramatically increases absorption of the fat-soluble compounds, which, not coincidentally, brings us to the midpoint of this list. If this has already given you something you didn't know before, hit the like button right now. It tells YouTube to put this video in front of more seniors who need it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Every week I bring you clinically grounded health information designed specifically for adults who want to live stronger and longer. Number 3, Greek yogurt. Most people think of yogurt as a light snack, something you eat when you're trying to be good. What most people don't realize is that full-fat Greek yogurt is one of the most anabolically powerful foods available to an aging body, and it is dramatically underutilized as a muscle-building tool in seniors. A single cup of plain, full-fat Greek yogurt contains 17 to 20 grams of high-quality protein, including leucine, isoleucine, and valine, the 3 branch-chain amino acids that are absorbed directly into muscle tissue with remarkable efficiency. Unlike plant proteins, which often require combining with other foods to be complete, Greek yogurt protein is what scientists call highly bioavailable. It doesn't take the scenic route. It goes straight to where your muscles need it. But here's what truly elevates Greek yogurt above a simple protein source. It contains live probiotic cultures, lactobacillus and bifidobacterium strains, that directly influence what researchers now call the gut-muscle axis. Research from the University of California, Davis found that healthy gut microbiome populations in older adults were directly correlated with greater lean muscle mass, better leg strength scores, and faster recovery from physical exertion. The gut is not just digesting your food. It is regulating how much of that food your muscles can actually use. After 65, the gut microbiome becomes less diverse and less efficient. Probiotic-rich foods like Greek yogurt help restore that diversity, For maximum benefit, eat your Greek yogurt within 30 to 45 minutes of any physical activity, even a short walk. This is your anabolic window, the period when muscles are most receptive to protein signals. Always choose plain, full fat. The low-fat versions replace fat with added sugar, which drives exactly the inflammation we are trying to fight. Number 2, beets. I can see some of you smiling, some of you skeptical. I understand completely. Beets are not the first thing that comes to mind when you think about building strong legs. But the research behind beets and physical performance in older adults is so compelling that major sports medicine institutions have integrated beet-derived compounds into recovery protocols. This is not folk medicine. This is frontier science applied to the aging body. Beets contain dietary nitrates, the same compounds I mentioned with spinach, but at concentrations 3 to 4 times higher per gram than any leafy green. One medium beet contains approximately 300 milligrams of dietary nitrates. When those nitrates reach oxygen-depleted working muscle tissue, they are converted into nitric oxide with extraordinary efficiency, producing what researchers call a vasodilatory cascade, a wave of blood vessel opening that floods your legs with oxygen and nutrients in a way that aging vascular tissue normally cannot produce on its own. A study at Wake Forest University found that older adults who consumed beet juice, the equivalent of 2 medium beets, before moderate exercise showed a 38% increase in blood flow to the brain regions associated with motor control. Let me say that differently. Beets didn't just improve what was happening in their legs, they improved the brain's ability to control their legs. For seniors concerned about falls, coordination, and nerve-to-muscle communication, this is enormous. Beets are also rich in betaine, which reduces homocysteine levels in the blood. Elevated homocysteine, affecting roughly 47% of adults over 60, is associated with accelerated muscle loss, vascular damage, and impaired mitochondrial function. Roast your beets at 400 degrees Celsius for 45 to 60 minutes. You can also blend raw beets into a smoothie with citrus juice. The vitamin C dramatically increases nitrate conversion efficiency. Do not boil them for long periods. Water-soluble nitrates leach out. Pair beets with any lean protein source and you have one of the most powerful pre-activity meals available to the aging body. And now, number 1. The food researchers at Harvard Medical School have identified as one of the most powerful muscle protective compounds available to humans over 60. The food that has been unfairly demonized, avoided, and eliminated from the diets of millions of seniors based on outdated science. Number 1, extra virgin olive oil. I know some of you expected a protein or an exotic superfood. Stay with me, because what I'm about to explain will fundamentally reframe how you think about fat, inflammation, and the architecture of a strong body. What makes extra virgin olive oil categorically different from every other dietary fat on the planet is a compound called oleocanthal, a natural polyphenol that functions in your body almost identically to ibuprofen. Same mechanism, it inhibits the same inflammatory enzymes, COX-1 and COX-2, that prescription anti-inflammatories target. The difference is that oleocanthal does this without the gastric bleeding, kidney strain, and cardiovascular risk associated with long-term NSAID use. For seniors who are already managing joint and muscle pain with anti-inflammatories, this distinction is critical. But the muscle-specific benefits go far beyond anti-inflammation. A landmark study from the University of Athens followed 840 adults over 65 for 3 years. Those who consumed a minimum of 4 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil daily showed a 37% lower incidence of sarcopenia, the progressive involuntary loss of muscle mass that begins around 40 and accelerates sharply after 60, 37% lower. From olive oil. Here is the biological mechanism, and this is the part Harvard researchers find most compelling. The polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil, over 30 distinct ones, appear to directly stimulate mTOR pathway signaling in muscle cells. The mTOR pathway is the master switch for muscle protein synthesis. The same pathway leucine activates. The same pathway resistance exercise activates. Olive oil polyphenols turn on that switch independently. No exercise required. No elevated hormones required. They work at the cellular level regardless of what else is happening around them. After 70, your body loses approximately 40% of its mTOR sensitivity. Extra virgin olive oil is one of the very few dietary compounds that appears capable of partially restoring it, like recalibrating a thermostat that has been set too low for too long. There is also a mitochondrial dimension. Research from the University of Jaén in Spain found that hydroxytyrosol, another polyphenol abundant in extra virgin olive oil, protects mitochondrial DNA in muscle cells from oxidative damage. As we age, our mitochondrial DNA accumulates errors like a manuscript photocopied too many times. The instructions become corrupted. Muscle cells produce less energy, recover more slowly, and eventually stop working altogether. Hydroxytyrosol slows that process of degradation. I want to tell you about Thomas, 81 years old, retired Navy commander from Norfolk, Virginia. When he came to see me, he could not walk more than 2 blocks without stopping to rest. His legs, he said, simply refused to cooperate. His diet was clean, or so he thought. Very low fat, very lean. He'd been avoiding fat for 30 years based on the guidelines of his era. We introduced 4 tablespoons of high-quality extra virgin olive oil into his daily routine, 2 in the morning over eggs, 2 at lunch over vegetables. We made no other changes for the first month. At his 6-week follow-up, he walked 4 blocks without stopping. At 12 weeks, he was back on his bicycle. At 6 months, he completed a 2-mile walk for a veterans charity and sent me the photograph from the finish line. I have it on my office wall. For practical use, 4 tablespoons daily is the evidence-based target. Use it as your primary cooking fat at low to medium heat. Drizzle it generously over vegetables, eggs, fish, and legumes. Buy it in dark glass bottles and look for a harvest date on the label, not just an expiration date. Polyphenol content degrades with time and light. Fresh extra virgin olive oil is medicine. Old, clear-bottled, bargain shelf olive oil is just fat. These 6 foods are not separate items on a shopping list. They are a system. Eggs, salmon, spinach, Greek yogurt, beets, and olive oil work together. The synergy between them is not accidental. When you combine them consistently, the cumulative effect on your leg strength, your inflammation levels, your mitochondrial health, and your mobility is dramatically greater than any single food can achieve alone. Let me bring this home. You were not built to become a passenger in your own life. Muscle tissue in the human body retains its capacity for growth and repair well into the 9th decade of life. That is not encouragement, that is clinical fact. The body wants to rebuild. It is waiting for the raw materials. Your job, starting with your next meal, is to give it those materials. The scientific references for every study I mentioned today are listed in the description below. Read them. Share them with your doctor. Use them to advocate for yourself. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 6 foods are you going to add to your diet first? Tell me in the comments. I read everyone. If this video gave you something valuable today, please share it. Someone in your life is dealing with exactly this: weak legs, fear of falling, the slow loss of independence, and they are not going to search for this on their own. You might be the reason they find it. I'm Dr. Markus Dexter. Eat well, move daily, and never stop believing that your best years are still ahead of you. This video contains general nutritional information based on published research and clinical experience. It is not a substitute for personal medical care. Please consult your own physician before making significant changes to your diet.